Welcome back. I get to introduce our first special guest, Orit Rehany. So excited to have you on the show today. You are so filled with passion, and I know you have such an interesting story, and it's so heartfelt. And you have taken your past and your history and started teaching workshops, and you have a book you're going to share a little bit more about today. But so can you tell us a little bit about where your passion for the Middle East, where it originated from?
Okay. I was born in the Middle East in two countries, one different than the other.
You were born in two countries. Okay, so you have to share
I was born in one and grew up in another.
Okay.
One that I grew up with is flourishing, and the other one needs the backing of the United States. So, up till this point, almost up till 13 years ago, I did not really want to associate myself with Baghdad, Iraq, where the United States was involved twice in our lifetime. The reason I did not want to associate myself with it is because of political upheaval, anti-Semitism, Nazism, and the full practice of hatred against a small community that existed 2,600 years. This whole community that I was part of at the age of 10, we were dislocated to Israel.
So you were born in Iraq.
Yes.
And up until the age of 10, that's where you lived?
Yes.
Okay. And then your family moved.
And we were, we immigrated, if you want to say it this way, to Israel as refugees.
Yeah.
I lived in transition camps. The community lives in transition camps all around the country. But we knew that that's not our lot. We knew we have to propel and bring ourselves up.
So at that time, you were already knowing that you needed to tap into courage and to be strong.
Absolutely.
Based on what was going on all around you from a small child. Now, you were 10.
Yes.
And did you have any siblings?
Yes.
Okay.
All Jewish families in Iraq were large families, like 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 5 boys and 2 girls.
Wow.
So I lost one brother in Israel. He was sick from leukemia, and I lost my father in Baghdad. I mean, my brother I lost in Baghdad, and my father in Baghdad. But then we came to Israel. My sister was married, and she has a little girl, and we lived in 2 bedrooms. All of us. After the messy beginning, after we moved to Ramat Gan, close to Tel Aviv, we lived in 2 bedrooms. Nobody lived in luxurious apartments.
Like so many people do here in the States. So here it is that you lost your brother.
Yes.
And your dad.
Yes.
And that was very painful.
Yes.
And I know that you had shared earlier with me that a lot of that you really, it was very difficult.
Yes.
To go back to
Absolutely.
that time. And that's one of the things that you've been able to process through. So for someone who has been through a really difficult time like that, is there a message through your teaching that you would like to share?
Yes, of course. I understood the message of relying on yourself. To rely on yourself, there is a lot of other passages to go through. You have to be courageous. You have to be a thinker, to think more. You have to be fearless. And you have to have the ambition to propel, to bring yourself as high as you can, and to coach yourself, to guide yourself. This is relying on yourself. And why I had to rely on myself after my father's death is because my mother was not well, and my brothers were there. So yes, I got some coaching from them, but mostly it was myself.
So that drive inside of you to take what had happened to your family in Iraq and
Yes.
Build something different, build a different kind of life.
Yes, yes, and of course, the freedom was so appealing. The feeling of the freedom in Israel was so appealing. Opportunities that girls did not have in Baghdad, they were available in Israel to all of them, almost the same. Also, I wanted to enlist in the army, but when we came to...
You wanted to.
Yeah, I wanted
You
to.
actually wanted to enlist in the army.
I wanted, because I think it's a great advantage for girls to go to the army. And it strengthens you. It teaches you different kind of life. So, but there was a mistake in my... in not birth certificate, but there was a mistake when they registered us at the Lydia airport at that time. So my birth was changed. My birthday was changed, so I couldn't enlist into the army. I couldn't go to the army. And
you had that desire, you really wanted to help and support and...
Absolutely, I had that desire. I still regret it. So I learned that to be able to be happy, you have really to be yourself, to dig into yourself, and to get what you need from yourself. Because after all, we were all born free. We have freedom of choice, so you have to use it. I also lived in Canada for many years, over 30 years, and I find that changing places, it could be to your advantage. And
learning all the different cultures. So the Middle East and then...
And North America.
North America, the contrast. Now, is that something that you blend into your teachings? I know you teach workshops.
Yes.
And presentations.
And the presentations and the book now. About the Middle East started 13 years ago. Shortly after 9/11, when a teacher approached me and said, "Can you prepare a presentation about your background?" At first I was confused and didn't know if I want to go into that part, but I did. So I was giving presentations and workshops about the Middle East, and I became specialized on the Middle East. I feel that every American should know about the Middle East.
You know, it's something that so many of us brush under the rug. We know something's going on out there.
Yes.
So you have that conversation. You bring that conversation forward. Can you share a little bit about your book, A River of Tears, A River of Hope?
Yes, because after every tear that a person goes through, there's always hope on your way. And you must follow your instinct and your hope. And this is what it is about. Experiences of our ancestors, their wisdom, and how they succeeded. It's all about hope. Because they were hopeful. It's not because they didn't have adversities or challenges in their lives. They did. But how did they control it? They controlled it through a process that we call it now a hope. There's something better going on the other side of the fence.
So, is there something that you'd like to share out of your book that we can share with our listeners today, and then you'll tell us how we can get a copy of your book too?
There is always sweet moments and sour moments in our lives, and I would like to share with you the sweet and sour moments. September 10, just one day before a very sad day in the United States. And I am here pondering and contemplating, should I tell you about my journey? Should I tell you about my legacy? Is it going to change your reality? Is it going to inspire you, make you eager to learn more from my experiences and the experiences of my family? Suddenly, my fear has just changed its outfit, and it became the outfit of courage. And I opened my pages to read and decided to ask you first. Did you know that I have 4 nationalities on my shoulders? 4 cultures, 4 languages, 4 ways of life. That each one is very special and unique. Each one had taught me another lesson, another culture, and another experience to lead me, to light my bulb, to ignite and direct me, to make me feel excited from all the sweet and sour memories, to unload them forever, put them on a plate, on a picnic table.
Oh, I love that. So this is Sweet and Sour Memories. That's the name of this chapter.
Of this, yes.
And so to get a copy of your book,
you can go to Amazon, A River of Tears, The River of Hope by Orit Rehany. You can go to Kindle, you can get it as an ebook. You can also get it from my publisher, Author House. You can get it at Barnes & Noble's. Everything is online.
Wow, Barnes & Noble. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You're such a wealth of information, and thank you for opening your heart and being here with us today.
My pleasure.